Hello and welcome to this mini series when I'm going to be talking about how to improve your energy levels and keep them more steady. First, quick disclaimer that applies to this entire series. None of the information in this video is meant to be or is a replacement for medical advice. I am not a licensed medical professional. The things I'm going to be talking about are just some helpful tips that are either common sense, supported by some research and science, or things that I personally found helpful when dealing with my own life and MS. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. So in this first video, I'm going to be talking about something that should be very obvious when it comes to talking about energy levels, and it's sleep. Hopefully, no surprises there. So skimping on sleep is definitely going to do a number on your energy levels. If you also keep it up for long enough, it's gonna destroy your health markers along the way as well. So the first, and I would say probably the most important part to look at when you're thinking about improving your energy levels is thinking, are you sleeping long enough? Are you getting enough sleep? Now, the ideal number will vary. Most sources will cite 7 to 9 hours. You will need to experiment a little bit, but that is definitely the right ballpark to be moving in. Start with 7 hours and increase it from there, see how you feel. So obviously getting to the right amount for you will take a little bit of experimentation. A little thing that you could keep in your mind when experimenting with your sleep duration is keeping your sleep duration in the intervals of 1.5 hours. The reason for this is that your sleep naturally goes between various stages, and one cycle of these stages tends to take about 1.5 hours. So let's say your body going from light sleep into deep sleep, into REM sleep, and all the way back into light. The reason that we want to follow these cycles is that we want to wake up in the lighter stages of sleep, which generally leads to feeling a bit more refreshed and not so groggy as if you were to wake up in the middle of REM sleep or deep sleep. So after we've addressed the sleep duration, the next most important element is the sleep quality. You see, you could be getting all of the hours that you need, but if your sleep is subpar, you will likely feel subpar as well. So for example, if most of your sleep was spent in the lighter stages of sleep, or even if you get into the deeper stages, but your sleep keeps getting interrupted by noises or anything else really, you will probably feel the effects of that, as your body really needs those deeper stages and especially REM sleep to repair itself. So what can you do to improve your sleep quality? There are a couple of things. One of the easiest improvements for most people will likely be sleep consistency. And that's what it sounds like, going to sleep at roughly the same time every night and waking up roughly at the same time every day. Yes, this means including the weekends, as your body doesn't really care that it's the weekend. This little improvement helps you on multiple fronts. Your body thrives on patterns, so following a sleep schedule helps your body regulate its circadian rhythm. This helps it know that it's time to go to sleep and release the correct chemicals, like for example, melatonin. This helps you fall asleep easier, and as your body gets used to this pattern, it also becomes more efficient at switching between those various sleep stages that we mentioned before, like light, deep, and REM sleep. And you want to make it as easy as possible for your body to enter these various sleep stages, especially the deeper ones, as this is where it gets most of its work done when it comes to restoring. But if you're someone like me who struggles with falling asleep more often than not, the benefit of falling asleep easier, which comes with the schedule, will probably be quite a life-changing one. Honestly, having an easier time falling asleep is so important to me, as there are nights where I just really struggle with it. And if you've been there, you know how frustrating it is to just lay in the bed and not be able to fall asleep. And this is something we're gonna come back to in this video just a little bit later. But to get back to the topic of sleep schedules, everything that we've talked about doesn't mean that you can't ever go to sleep at an odd time ever again. Obviously, there will be occasions when you just want to stay up a bit later, or you go out with some friends to some event like a wedding, and that's going to prevent you from going to sleep at the time that you wanted. And that's perfectly fine, as long as it's an exception, not the rule. Your body will fall back into the pattern in no time. The next thing that you can do to help with your sleep quality is setting up some sort of a sleep routine. And this doesn't need to be anything super fancy. It could be just like a very simple sequence of things that you do that let your body know that it's time to wind down and go to sleep. So what could a simple sleep routine look like? It could be really simple. You could just grab a book that you enjoy, make a cup of tea, something like chamomile or something relaxing. Definitely avoid black tea or green tea, which have caffeine and other chemicals that perk your body up. You want something that helps you just chill and wind down. And you read your book, you drink your tea, then you go brush your teeth. Maybe you do a little bit more reading if you're still not feeling tired, and once that tiredness hits you, you go into the bed and go to sleep. For some people, it could be really important to keep this routine away from the bed. So if you're reading or watching something or whatever other activity that you're doing, you do it away from the bed to create an association between the bed and sleep and just keep it strictly to that. Now, even with the routine, it might every now and then happen that you will struggle with falling asleep. Definitely still happens to me at times. And an important thing to keep in mind when that happens is if you've been in the bed for, let's say, half an hour and you're still not falling asleep and you're tossing, you're turning, and you might even feel some frustration coming, just get out of the bed. Get out of the bed, go take a little walk around your flat, around your house, just move a little bit, and maybe sit down and do a different activity for a little bit. Just sit down in a different place, not in your bedroom, and grab a book, or if your thoughts are racing, grab a notepad and write down your thoughts, journal a little bit, try to explore what's keeping you up. And again, once you feel that sleepiness come in, go back to the bed only at that point. Because if you're in the bed and you're just thinking to yourself like, oh God, I should have been asleep already, or it's so late, I'm not going to be getting enough sleep, or whatever else you might be thinking, believe me, that will keep you further and further from falling asleep, and it will only make it more difficult, you'll feel more guilty, and yeah, it's just not good for you. So try that if it ever happens to you. Some quick tweaks that you can apply to your sleep to help improve it. If you're a light sleeper like me, you might want to consider investing in a sleep mask. And while I say investing, you don't really need to spend a lot of money on a sleep mask for it to be any good. I personally have a £10 sleep mask off of Amazon, and it's really great for what it needs to do. It's a blackout mask, so no light gets in. It doesn't apply pressure to my eyes, although there are models of the same brand that do apply some light pressure if that's something that you prefer. And it's flat, which means I can sleep on my back, I can sleep on my side, but I can also comfortably sleep on my belly, which is usually what I prefer. And while I've seen some fancy models on the internet that claim to have some fantastic features, they're really bulky and I couldn't sleep with them in the position that I want to. So yeah, just don't think you need to spend a lot of money to get a good sleep mask. Another thing that could help you with your sleep is reducing your exposure to blue light in the evening. You will have likely heard of this as it has been very popular lately. So reducing your blue light exposure could come in multiple forms. One of them could be wearing blue light blocking glasses, which are those glasses with the funny yellow or orangish lenses. It could come in the form of turning a filtering mode on your device. My laptop has one, my phone has one. Your device most likely has one as well, so you can switch it to automatically just change the tint of your screen, which will reduce some of that blue light coming into your eyes. Lastly, you could just try to avoid your electronic devices altogether, but that might be quite difficult. Another possibly quick tweak that you could do is cooling down your sleep environment. Now, I recognize that this might not always be possible or practical, but if you can, try keeping your sleep environment at like around 18 degrees Celsius. That's supposed to be the ideal sleep temperature, and it will definitely help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep and have a bit more restful sleep. But this will also vary a little bit with personal preference. There are obviously people who find that a bit too cold. So again, try experimenting with it a little bit. Hello, quick interruption while editing the video. I just want to provide a bit more nuance on the section that I was recording, which is substances. So let's get the easy one out of the way, alcohol. It's absolutely detrimental to your sleep. There's no two questions about it. It decreases your sleep quality, which in turn will mean you will sleep worse, you'll wake up worse, and you're just gonna feel worse and more tired. Some drinks every now and then are perfectly fine. Well, not exactly healthy for you, but you know, most of us do it, it's okay. However, if you're feeling tired and you drink regularly and consistently, consider cutting it out. If you try it for a bit longer period of time, you will likely see an improvement in how you feel. Now for the nuanced part, it's weed. So based on some reading that I did, linked in description, when it comes to the average person that does some weed as a means of recreation, it seems to be detrimental to your sleep. It might help you fall asleep a bit faster, but it usually reduces the amount of REM sleep that you get during the night, which is not a good trade-off. It does hurt your recovery. However, this changes for people who take weed for medical purposes. If you're having pains or any other issues that are preventing you from getting a full night's sleep, then weed might actually be helpful, as it does help you get that sleep more consistently. And even if it does reduce your REM sleep a little bit, we'll still take that over just interrupted or really disturbed sleep. So yeah, if the weed was prescribed by a doctor, it might be a good idea to take it. If you're doing it just for the fun of it, it's likely hurting your sleep. And if you're feeling tired, same as with alcohol, consider cutting it out. And last thing I want to touch on before wrapping up is napping. I absolutely love napping. You might even be able to tell I'm really excited to talk about napping. Why? Because it can be really transformative to how you feel. Especially dealing with the mess, there are times when my fatigue just builds up really fast, especially if the day is very busy or stressful. There will come a point where I'm experiencing a lot of brain fog, or I'm just really not feeling up to the task of whatever I'm doing. In those moments, finding 5, 10, sometimes 15 minutes to rest and maybe take a nap can be so impactful. And I really mean that even 5 minutes can be helpful. I've had naps where even just 5 minutes took me from feeling like I'm about to collapse to, well, a functional human being, which is quite a lot at times. So yeah, definitely give napping a try. Some things that I recommend is keep them far away from sleep time if you can. Like if it's 8 in the evening, don't go for a nap if you're gonna be sleeping in 2 hours. It's likely to disrupt your sleep and it's just not worth it. The other thing, put on a timer, especially if you're not used to napping. Put on a timer so you don't sleep past, well, let's say 20 to 30 minutes. 20 minutes can still be okay, 30 is really pushing it, as at 30 minutes your body might start slipping into deeper sleep, and if you wake up in the middle of one of those stages, you will likely experience that moment of waking up and being like, what year is this? Where am I? Who am I? What's going on? You probably don't want that. It feels really rubbish. So yeah, keeping it on the shorter side can be really good. So that's all I have for you today. If you found any of these things interesting, new, or helpful, please let me know. And if you have anything that you would like to add, some tips that you're following, something that helped you fall asleep faster or just get better sleep, I would be very happy to hear that. If you like this video, give it a like. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.